Right at the store with a handcuff or something, but it's still being removed.
Realize that.
Oh, no, really, that whole time?
The whole time. That's up to there's videos on YouTube all the time, so.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at their stock, because it actually went down a little bit more than just 6%. It started to climb back up until around 4 p.m. when Laura Loomer started protesting and fell back down again.
Number one topic on American Twitter, I believe number two topic in world Twitter.
Yes.
Now, baby boomers don't think that's about Metro, but I sure do.
Okay, a super far-right woman named Laura Loomer got banned from Twitter and then handcuffed herself to Twitter headquarters to protest. And I was like, what? She's gonna get in so much trouble.
That's on all the time.
Yeah, so we're here in the hot dog that Nancy Pelosi. It's a 11:50 felony in case you want to come to our party. And, Nancy's favorite wall is immorality. I think we signed over this little, like a barrier wall or whatever it may be. She said that was welcome here, but now the doors are locked. And I just don't understand because not only were my amigos not able to get inside after she said everyone's welcome here and that we can take a sanctuary, but I'm just like so heartbroken that she didn't, send the invitation to my other friends.
Hey, stop here! Hey, no, careful!
Guys, Gavin Newsom is arrested. Their authorities committed perjury when he testified to Congress and charged.
Watson, Laura Loomer, all of them were designated dangerous individuals and banned from Facebook and from the subsidiary Instagram.
And you have executives at social media companies labeling conservative individuals as dangerous.
I felt that it was really important to project the names of individuals who have been silenced and censored by Jack Dorsey onto his drove to Facebook headquarters, and we're heading over to Facebook to talk to them about why they decided to ban me.
What's happening is everybody who is speaking up is being shut down. They're being censored. They're being threatened. They're being silenced. Right?
There's a girl in America named Laura Loomer who, and she got banned from Twitter for saying, which is kind of ironic because now everyone's saying it, that Ilhan Omar works with CARE, a terrorist organization. I know now everyone's saying it. And she called Ilhan Omar anti-Semitic and said that Ilhan Omar married her brother. And now it's all national. Now it's all national news.
The group that you're working for, CARE, is a terrorist organization. This is a terrorist organization. I'm gonna be doing other things. And I know that a lot of people, dislike me on the left and the right, and a lot of people don't agree with my tactics, and they think I go too far, but it's absolutely necessary, because what has happened to me, right, I'm banned on Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, Twitter, PayPal, GoFundMe, Venmo, Media, PayPal, the list goes on and on.
Well, it's great to be back in Miami. A lot of people don't know this, but the beginning of my bans actually began in Miami, where I was working and going to college at Mary University, and I was banned from my alma mater and kicked out of college for doing an expose with James O'Keefe. So thank you so much to Katja and Alex and the organizers of American Priority for having me here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Laura Loomer. I am a conservative investigative journalist. I'm 26 years old, and I'm now running for Congress in Palm Beach, Florida. This is where Mar-a-Lago is located, so when I win my race, I will be President Donald Trump's congresswoman. Very exciting. So, how am I the most banned woman in the world? Here is a list of all of the places I have been banned. It's pretty remarkable. Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats. I can't even order delivery. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, GoFundMe, PayPal, Venmo, Chase Bank, MGM Resorts, Periscope, Medium, Teespring. Oh, God, it's like lose your breath talking about it. It's pretty insane what has happened. And you may be asking yourself, well, how do you get banned from all these places? Well, I was permanently banned from Uber and Lyft because some of you may remember in New York City, there was an ISIS terrorist attack where an Islamic terrorist Uber driver drove a car into a bike lane and killed 8 people. I tweeted about this and talked about how it was unacceptable that ISIS terrorists were being hired by these services that we all use. I'm sure all of you have probably used Uber or Lyft, and because of that, I was banned. Banned from Facebook. So the peak of the bans really began last November when I was permanently banned on Twitter. And a lot of people don't really have the facts about why I was banned. I was one of the first people to really expose Ilhan Omar, as you saw from my video compilation that I just played for you guys. I was on the ground in Minnesota asking her why she married her brother, why she hates Jews, why she aligns herself with actual dangerous individuals. That was when she was campaigning. And I posted this tweet. This is the tweet that got me banned. And I know that the media is somewhere in here in the back room, but this is the tweet that got me banned. Isn't it ironic how the Twitter moment used to celebrate women, LGBTQ, and minorities is a picture of Ilhan Omar? Ilhan is pro-Sharia. Ilhan is pro-FGM. Under Sharia, homosexuals are oppressed and killed. Women are abused and forced to wear the hijab. Ilhan is anti-Jewish. That's the tweet that I was banned for. And it is 100% factual, and yet I was deemed, hateful. They said that was hate speech. They said that I was a white supremacist. They called me a Nazi, even though I'm a Jewish woman. I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal. And you can see, if I'm banned, then I think that every single Democrat in Congress or Nancy Pelosi should also be banned, because they said the same thing. They said the same thing. The Democrats drafted an anti-Semitism resolution following Ilhan Omar's remarks on Israel. Okay, so every Democrat, including Nancy Pelosi, had to agree when they came to this resolution when Omar was tweeting nasty things about Jewish people, but they weren't banned, right? So what is the double standard? Well, the thing is raise your hand if you have been banned on Facebook or thrown in Facebook jail or Twitter jail or had some type of censorship, right? Most of you are raising your hands. This is a problem, and what we're seeing is the double standard with social media. There are 2 sets of rules in this country, depending on whether you're a Republican or a Trump supporter or a Democrat. And we see that if you are on the left, you are allowed to call for the president to be assassinated. You are allowed to incite violence against Trump supporters. But if you're a Republican, you will be banned for simply expressing support. And, when I was banned on Twitter, I was wondering, were there outside lobby groups that banned me? What's the story here? Why was I really banned? And then the Wall Street Journal released this bombshell expose in January, and they found that CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is a designated Islamic terrorist organization in the UAE, it's a Muslim Brotherhood entity. Federal judges in the United States during the Holy Land Foundation terrorism trial found that they were supporting Hamas, which our government recognizes as a terrorist organization. They had a meeting with Twitter executives and asked them to ban me. And Twitter said, okay. So we have big issues, right? In my case, it's an Islamic terrorist organization, but in many of your cases, it could be the SPLC, right? They got Gavin McInnes banned. They're getting a lot of people banned. It could be the ADL. There's a lot of different left-wing social justice warrior organizations that like to, falsely advertise themselves as civil rights groups or advocacy groups fighting defamation when all they really do is run smear campaigns. You can see another report. And look, this is not a conspiracy. The FBI was actually forced to cut off ties with CAIR due to their ties to terrorism, and this is who Jack Dorsey is taking meetings with, right? I am banned on Twitter, but the Muslim Brotherhood has a verified Twitter account. I am banned on Twitter, but Hamas has a Twitter account and a Facebook account. And then again, you can see the ruling. This is all information that the press should be talking about, but they don't, right? Government has produced ample evidence to establish the associations of care, tying them to Hamas. This is a report from David Harris's site. I know he's here. The care official who got me banned, this is the woman who was quoted in the Wall Street Journal report saying that they ran this lobby effort, is a self-admitted jihadist, okay? So you saw the tweet that I was banned for. I said Ilhan Omar was anti-Jewish. Well, let's take a look at Zara Bilhu's tweets, okay? Wow, that's a really nice tweet at the bottom. Notice she has a blue verified check mark. Twitter took mine away because they said I was a white supremacist. I will not renounce jihad, khilafah, or sharia. Raise your hand if you know what jihad is. Yeah, jihad in Islamic scripture is defined as warfare against non-Muslims, okay, violent warfare. So this is who the tech executives are meeting with. They're also meeting with the head of the SPLC, who was just forced to resign because he had a racial controversy in his own office, and then his 16-year-old daughter accused him of sexually molesting her. These are the people who Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg are meeting with to ban Trump supporters and to determine what is hate speech and what is and isn't allowed on social media. Well, look, the conversation right now about social media censorship is very surface level. People want to talk about Facebook. People want to talk about Twitter bans. But what we're not talking about, and what should be at the forefront of this, is how it's a civil rights violation. We need to change the narrative. This is no longer a discussion about free speech and a violation of the First Amendment. Your civil rights as Trump supporters are being violated by these big tech social media companies that are owned and operated by communist donors, mega donors to the Democrat candidates who want to shut you down and financially blacklist you. These are the same exact tactics that were used in the time leading up to the Holocaust, where they would demonize, polarize, ostracize, and then financially blacklist an entire segment of society until they convinced the other people to commit genocide, right? And we need to stop it. We need to stop it because history will repeat itself, all right? And never again is right around the corner, you guys. Take it from me. I was banned from PayPal, Chase Bank.
Yeah.
How many of you guys knew that Chase Bank is now targeting Trump supporters?
Yeah.
Chase Bank shut my online access to my bank account down the day before my Twitter protest. They banned me, they banned Enrique Tarrio, they banned Joe Biggs. What do we all have in common? Oh, we just happen to be very popular Trump supporters online that had followings of hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions. And if they're gonna do it to me, and no one's gonna speak out about it, they're gonna do it to you too. So what am I doing to fight back against this? Well, as you saw at the end of my video presentation, I'm running for Congress. Because there are not enough fighters in Congress right now speaking up for the everyday people, okay? We hear too much talk about big tech. Every day we hear that Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg are censoring people, but I want to know what they're actually going to do about it. I want to know what they're going to do for people like you who don't have my soapbox. I want to know what they're going to do when Chase Bank shuts your account down, when PayPal prevents you from making money in your online business, when you're completely disenfranchised and shut down and silenced, and you're not able to receive information about your election process. I am a candidate for US Congress, and I don't have social media.
Yeah.
But I'm still fighting. You know, I'm not gonna let them get me down because I filed lawsuits. In April, I filed a lawsuit against CARE and Twitter. I'm suing them. It's going great. The fake news media never wants to talk about my lawsuits or the fact that Twitter and Facebook are taking meetings with Islamic terrorist organizations and ordering hit jobs on journalists. They don't want to talk about that. But I sued them. I sued Google, I sued Facebook, I sued Twitter, and I sued Apple. And they tried to get my case dismissed. And the DC Circuit Court of Appeals said that they're going to hear my appeal. So I'm going to go to Washington, and I'm going to present my appeal. And I'm fighting on behalf, in that antitrust case, on behalf of all conservative Americans, and really all Americans, because let's be honest, free speech should not be a partisan issue. We are all Americans, and I'm a Republican. supporter, but I'm in favor of everybody having free speech in this country. It's not a partisan issue, and it's sad that Democrat representatives like Lois Frankel, who I'm running against, wouldn't help me when I went to her and asked her for help. But that's the issue, guys. That's the issue that really set me over the edge. Because, you know, I love my district. I love living in Palm Beach, Florida. How could you not love Florida? It's beautiful here, right? I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm really passionate about serving my country and giving back, and especially now that I'm banned, I figured, what's the best way that I can continue to give back? And that's when I realized I just got to run for office, right? I got to run for office.
Right.
Isn't it crazy, you guys, how the Democrats for 3.5 years, almost 4 now, have been trying to divide our country with false accusations of Russian collusion, and now they're trying to impeach the best president we have ever had in this country.
That's right.
Are going to be dragged before Congress and held accountable for committing perjury, for lying to Congress.
Right.
Why aren't our representatives as concerned about these Democrats and far-left agitators like Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg, who are aiding the Chinese government and committing human rights violations and censoring people all around the world? Right? Why aren't these people being dragged before Congress and being held accountable? Well, when I'm in Congress and I'm going to get elected, you guys, it's going to happen whether they like it or not. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. As I mentioned, my case is going to Washington. It's going to be heard in front of the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. You know, they don't just ban you. The most dangerous part about this is the fact that these companies label you as dangerous. They will label you as a terrorist. How many of you are NRA members? Right? I'm a member of the Army too. In San Francisco, I believe they just passed some resolution to identify NRA supporters as domestic terrorists. So all of you guys are like me. You're like a domestic terrorist. You're a dangerous individual. And this is what Facebook is now doing. On May 2nd, they targeted 5 high-profile Republicans and Trump supporters, myself included, and they banned us on Facebook and Instagram. And they said that we were dangerous individuals, okay? And it's interesting because in their classification of a dangerous individual, it was somebody who is a mass murderer, a serial killer, or somebody who is a terrorist. I don't fit that bill. I've never murdered anyone. I'm not a member of any terrorist organizations, unless you want to call the NRA one. But I don't know where these people get the authority to just ruin people's lives and designate them and defame them and put a target on their back in society. A whistleblower report just came out last month that showed that Facebook was auto-generating advertisements for ISIS. They are auto-generating advertisements for ISIS. So ISIS is not dangerous to Facebook, but if you are a 26-year-old Jewish Trump supporter, you're too dangerous. You're just too dangerous. So what did I do? I fought back. I'm suing Facebook for $3 billion for defamation. And then what did Facebook do? Well, the day that I filed my lawsuit against Facebook, they changed their terms of service. And this should frighten all of you because this is proof that these companies have more power than the president himself, right? They are trying to interfere in our election. You already saw Kamala Harris is calling on Jack Dorsey to ban the president of the United States. Can you believe it? She wants to be president and she wants Trump banned. This is a real screenshot from Facebook's community terms of service that has now been changed, that they updated the day that I filed my lawsuit. It says, do not post threats that could lead to death and other forms of high severity violence of any target where the threat is defined as any of the following. Statements of intent to commit high severity violence or calls for high severity violence unless, keyword, unless the target is an organization or individual covered in the Dangerous Individuals and Organizations Policy.
So that's
well, look at this. What does that say? What does that say? The company removed right-wing personalities, Milo Yiannopoulos, Paul Joseph Watson, and Laura Loomer, along with Alex Jones site InfoWars, and branded them as dangerous individuals. So, In other words, if you're a Trump supporter and you have millions of followers and you're helping spread the president's message, it's open season. And people are allowed to commit lethal violence, high severity violence, whatever that means. And these are the people that want to take away your guns, right? So just remember that. These are the same people who are telling you that you don't have a right to defend yourself. You can see the report, Facebook sanctions violent threats against dangerous individuals. And how many of you heard this on the mainstream media? Did you hear this? Why isn't Fox News talking about this? What has happened to Fox News, right?
Yeah.
Do we even have conservative media in this country anymore?
Oh, I am.
Even if it's not Fox News, does the mainstream media hate Trump supporters so much that they think that it's acceptable for us to be told that we deserve to die and have violent threats posted about us on Facebook? They are one of the most powerful tech companies in the world with 2 billion users. All right, and we need our representatives in Congress and our media officials to be speaking up about this more, because it is going to get violent, and it's going to get violent fast. And I'm doing the best I can to do my part, but people need to speak up because these people have too much power.
Right.
One of the things I'm really proud about is in the recent filing by Facebook, they filed a motion to have my case dismissed. It's not going to work. They said that they're a publisher. Well, that means that Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg, they perjured themselves. We already know this, but now this legal document in response to my lawsuit is proof, because when they testified under oath, they said that they were platforms. And that's the only reason why they get the Section 230 immunity. Right? And I don't want to get in the weeds of the Section 230 argument that protects these companies, I guess, from their distinction of platform versus publisher, because they defamed me, right? And at the end of the day, Section 230 has nothing to do with Facebook defaming me, because Section 230 doesn't protect them from inciting violence against my life. You are not protected by Section 230 to say that it's okay to pose threats of high severity violence against my life. I got them to admit that they're a publisher, and this actually is making the rounds in the media, and it's going to cause some issues. And I am aware that some members of Congress have seen this, and people in DC are aware of this. And so hopefully we're going to see more progress when it comes to breaking up big tech until I'm elected to Congress and I do it myself.
Yeah.
So Palm Beach, Florida, my district, District 21, it is about an hour and a half north of here. It is President Trump's district. And so I am very excited. I may be banned on social media, and they can call me a provocateur, they can call me whatever they want, but I'm very excited to flip this district red and give President Donald Trump a Republican representative who respects him in the district where Mar-a-Lago is located.
Yeah.
The press is already talking about it. I mean, I'm banned on social media. This was a report in the Palm Beach Post from 2 days ago. Candidate banned from social media. So, look, we can listen to CNN and fake news and all the media try to tell us that the Russians interfered in the election. But at the end of the day, the Russians have nothing on big tech. Because the real election interference and collusion is between the Democrat Party and these fascists, these actual fascists in big tech like Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg and Google that are actually trying to censor and sway the election so that the Democrats can steal the election. And don't ever let them tell you otherwise. Don't ever let them tell you. But look, you can try to kill the messenger. They've tried to kill me off. They've tried to defame me. They've done everything that they can to try to ruin me. But I'm still here. I'm still standing strong, and I'm running for Congress. And even without a Twitter account, I'm still trending #1. Okay? I'm still trending #1 on Twitter. Whether it's handcuffing myself to the front door of Twitter, or putting illegal aliens on Nancy Pelosi's lawn, or announcing my run for Congress, I continue to trend #1 on the platforms which they ban me. Because you can try to kill the messenger, but you cannot kill the message. And censorship is un-American. It is un-American. The thing that separates this country from every other country, it makes the United States of America the most amazing, great country to live in, is the fact that we have free speech. And it's why torch and protecting our constitutional rights, especially the First Amendment, because we are a symbol for the world and other oppressed people around the world who want to enjoy and have free speech and liberty. So thank you so much for being here.